Hey guys, just gonna dig into this quick little bit of mail. This comes from Joseph. He is in Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken. And if I do remember correctly, these will be a few alpha cards. Some of them are going into, I think a couple of them might be for me, but I think they're mostly for my friend Max. Yes, there we go. So I've done a real disservice to this guy. He's such a nice guy, Max. A good friend, true friend. And now I've kind of got him hooked or interested on alpha. Uh, don't know really what to say about that. Maybe I'm not such a good friend to him. It is beautiful. Like, don't get me wrong. I love it for a reason. At the same time, you know, well, I'm not even gonna lie. No, it's the greatest thing. Collecting alpha cards is like just so much fun, and they're not all that common. So it's always a challenge to find what exactly you're looking for. I like that sort of, like, it reminds me of the old days. That sort of like compromise. You don't always get what you want, but you do with what you got. So I just thought I would open these really quickly here. There should be a pair of Cursed Lands and a pair of Black Knights, and we'll just check them that they are actually alphas.
Are you talking to that?
Yeah, I was just making a quick recording. I was opening some mail for Max. So, yeah, they look great. Amazing condition on them, actually. Let's look at the corners. Yeah, corners look great on that. Yeah, good feel. Like, these have not been heavily played or anything like that. I think they've just been bumping around in a long box, to be honest. That's the kind of wear pattern I'm seeing on these. This type of a wear pattern you see here is what you get when somebody's rifling your fingers through the long box trying to get through, and they of course pass the Cursed Lands. Surface is decent for sure. Okay, and then okay, wait, 3 Cursed Lands, right? 3 Cursed Lands, perfect. This is, I think, the nicest one. There's a bit of an indentation here on the surface. I don't know if that's coming through. I might work on that. I might be able to fix that up for him a bit. Then there's also a pretty good scratch on the back, so I might not bother because it kind of doesn't change anything about it. And wow, what a nice Black Knight that is. He's going to be really happy with that. Because he's going to start playing black, so a lot of those cards I've been collecting will go over to him, so he can have a try at that. I'm going to check the edges. So one thing here to note is right there, it almost looks like there might be a dot of ink on it. And of course, the way to be sure is I'm just going to go get my UV light and we'll check it together. So the spot I was kind of looking at was right here. Let me see if it's showing on the camera. Right there. Because there's a little, looks like bleeding through. I think what actually drew my eye there at first was there's like an indentation on this edge. Yeah, I can feel it. And that took my eye over to that. And now I don't think it's ink, actually. It's just a little bit of odd wear. And for some reason, it's as if the color was pulled down onto the edge. No, that black light really didn't help this time. Tricky that one is. Yeah, not gonna lie, that one's a little tricky. And it is an odd bit of ink. Like, that's not really typical inking. Like, why would you have... It would be like as if, why would they just ink it in that one little spot? But that's not really, I'm not an ink detective of why it got there. It's just if it's there or not is more what I concern myself with. But I don't think that is ink. I'm gonna look one more time. Yeah, it just doesn't bounce back the way ink does. I should get an inked card for comparison. It doesn't really do much. Just saying, hey, let me go get something that I know is inked and see if I can we'll do a quick comparison. I think there's something in this binder that has probably some ink on it. I know I have a Triskelion. If I look around, I'll find that, and it has ink on it. Not one of those. Which one of these is it though? Hard to see. Hard to see even now. Oh wait, maybe here. I think the Su-Chi. Yeah, I remember I bought this Su-Chi, and it was a very inexpensive card, and I wasn't surprised to find some ink on it. It was just fine with me. Was this the one? Oh yeah, this one's horribly inked. Can you guys see that? You can really try to get it to line up with my finger. Yeah, you can really see the ink on the side. So let's compare for a second. How does this look? I see that looks more like ink. Also try something else I could do is I could bring I have another light here, a little bit more powerful. Let's see if this helps. There we go. Okay. So if we want to look at this under that type of a lens, you know, maybe I'm just not very good at spotting ink, or maybe it's not here. That's it. I'm seeing ink where there isn't any. Now that I'm putting this on, I'm looking at this and I'm kind of seeing that same type of thing. Like it's not so much ink, it's that the card has gotten is kind of pushed down wherever it's not worn, and that might actually explain the wear pattern. Like let's say if the card was kind of pushed down, then the parts that are above are what's going to wear, and they can feel it, right? Like so these are higher, so when the card gets moved around, those get worn first. Geez, I'm glad this card's not inked. That's pretty incredible considering what I paid for it. Okay, so that's not inked at all. Just goes to show how bad I was. I think the light is better honestly than the black light sometimes. But let's find something with ink so we can be a little more sure about that. Okay, maybe one of these trikes definitely was inked. No, that one just has a creased corner. I don't think that's the inked one. Now the question, this is really going on a bit of time. Will this video make it onto YouTube or not? Who wants to know? See if I can. So I really do feel like it's worth discussing inking on old cards. It's something you should be aware of if you're buying them, and definitely looking for it is a good idea. It's a best practice. Okay, I have a feeling this might be the one. Okay, so we're gonna, because these are all double sleeved as well, they've been in decks. This might be the one. I know I have one that is inked. I don't want to say please be this one, but okay. Yeah, am I hoping? What am I hoping for here? That I find an ink Triskelion? Okay. So, yeah, this will probably be more obvious. Let's see if we can get the light. So at the top of this card, you're going to see that it's inked here across the card. It has a little bit of inking. At the bottom, I think you'll see some more inking. Does that seem right? Yeah, okay, now, so the black light does really help. It does super stand out with the black light. That's what this is for when it's working properly. When it's been being used correctly, it can show incredible things. So like, let's look at this card. It doesn't really show. Now I'm going to hit it. You can just see how look at the top. Look how inked this card is. It's crazy, right? Did this card look that inked before I put the black light on it? Like, to me, no. It had a little bit of a smudge across the top maybe, but that really does tell. And how about the front of the card? The front of the card is not really inked at all, but the back really is. So let's see that one more time. Nothing, you don't see it, and then you see it. It just all kind of jumps out at you. I'm trying to click. There we go. So inking along the top, inking along this side, inking along there, inking. Yeah. Weird inking too, right? Like, why did they choose to ink it in that way? I couldn't tell you. So let's go back to the Black Knight now, in the spot that we were looking at. Now I think I'm just going to say no, I don't think that's ink. I think the card is fine. I think it's just kind of a little bit of an odd bit of wear, and it's just been pushed down there, and that's it. So good. Max's card's not inked. We learned a little bit of something. I kind of went through all the steps. I found out that this card I was almost sure of was inked because, I mean, I think it was $20, and that was a great price for a Suchi recently. In fact, $20, very decent condition for a non-inked card. Anyway, and yeah, Max gets his alpha cards. We covered the inking. Something you should really